Hey guys, today I wanted to make a video talking about how we take one of our most popular pictures. I think if it's not the most, it's one of the most liked pictures we've posted on Instagram. We've done it a bunch of times at different weddings and it always performs really well on social media. People ask us all the time how we do it. So I just wanted to talk about exactly what goes on in our heads and what settings we use and what the process is. I'm going to jump into explaining it. First, I guess I'll show you what picture I'm talking about. So it's this slow shutter running back and forth across, while the bride and groom kiss. This iconic picture that a lot of people love that we post all the time. And so there are a few examples. We've done this a bunch of different times. So you can see this one and this one, that one. This is one of the first ones we've done. I think this was in like 2018 maybe. So there's that and that one and this one. So I'm actually going to, this one specifically, we recorded ourselves taking this picture at this wedding. So I have a video I'm going to show you guys, and I'm going to pause it and kind of comment on what we're doing. So I'll get into that in a second. First, I just wanted to mention, if you have any ideas or requests for videos that you want us to make, things that would be helpful. It could be an explanation of how to take a photo similar to this. It could be an editing tutorial. It could be marketing or business advice if you need to book more clients or figure something out for your website, like what is the best practice for, what should it be included on a landing page? How do I run a Google ad? Things like that. I come from a marketing background, so posing, self-portraits, business advice, whether that's, obviously we can't give legal advice, but we can talk about, from our experience, things that you should do for your business. Just let us know in the comments. Are there any specific videos that would be helpful to you or entertaining to see that we could produce in the future? So let us know in the comments, but I will jump into showing you how to take this picture. So first, I'm going to start by showing you this photo here in Lightroom. So obviously you can see this is the example I showed you a second ago, but there are no people running a pass in this yet. The reason is because we take, we have our camera on burst mode. So it's a high speed burst. So we're taking a bunch of shots of this moment. So we start off with just the couple kissing, and then as we're taking photos very quickly, we tell everybody to run past. And you'll see that when I show the video in a second, but I'll just scroll through a few of the pictures you can see. So everybody's running past. That was another series, we did it again, but so in this, you can see just going back and forth, and you can make a GIF out of this too. So to start off, just looking at the settings for how we take this. So we have our camera on a tripod. Again, you'll see that in a second, but we're using an Nikon Z8 with a 24 to 70 millimeter lens. Our ISO is set to 40. Our aperture is at f9, and our shutter speed is at a 15th of a second. Now there is a reason for those things. Specifically, the shutter speed needs to be slow. So a 15th of a second, or around that, give or take a little bit, is going to be a really good speed to get that blurry run. Now, if people are moving more slowly, like there's been one or two times where people are more so just walking past, you might have to slow it down more. If they're sprinting past, you might be able to speed it up a little bit, but around a 15th of a second. When you do that, your camera sensor is exposed to light for a longer amount of time, making it for a really bright, overexposed picture if you don't adjust your other settings. That's why we have the ISO set to 40 and the aperture set to f9. An aperture of f9 means it is a narrow aperture, a narrow opening for light to enter to your sensor. So with that narrow opening, there's less light, making for a darker picture. So that's why we have the ISO and aperture the way they are. You can also use an ND filter to block out light. We don't typically use ND filters. I have one on the camera I'm recording with, but generally we don't use ND filters for this photo. We just set the ISO and aperture the way they are. So you can play around with that and decide how you want to approach it, but those are the settings that we use generally. All right, so I'm gonna pull up the video of us actually taking this picture now and show you exactly what we did, and I'll pause it as I'm going through and explain what Laura's doing, why she's doing it. So let me go ahead and pull this up, put my headphones on so I can hear it too. All right, so
Like come
let's
up
play
a little
that.
bit here, here. I can't wait to see what this is. And then can you step back a little bit? Yep. All right.
Okay, so Laura, the way Laura is positioning people, part of the reason she's doing this is because she's also planning on making a GIF out of this. So she wants it to start off, when I was scrolling through the pictures, you could see it started off with just the bride and groom. Nobody else was in the frame. The reason she did that is because that's how she wanted the GIF to start. So then they all run past, and then you have the blurry people coming into the GIF. So you don't necessarily need to be as careful of keeping everybody out of the frame like she's doing right here. But if you're doing a GIF, that's a fun thing to do.
So going for a kiss. Ready? 3, 2, 1, run. Try to pass each other at the same time. Yeah.
All right, so we had already told the couple when they go in for the kiss to stay very, very still. Part of that's because of the GIF, part of that's just because of the slow shutter. So we had already told them that so they know, and we had already told everybody that when they're running past each other, they should try to cross over the bride and groom at the exact same time, and you can see they did a pretty good job of that. The reason for that is because you want to have a clear shot of the bride and groom, which is not going to happen if, let's just say, this girl in orange is a little bit further back, and then this girl is even further back. So then this guy's in front of the bride and groom, and then right after you get a clear shot from him moving, then this person's in front of them. And so you need everybody to pass right at the same time, so you get that good shot where, let's see, like right about there, where you're gonna have somebody blurry over here, somebody blurry over here, some people that are blurry behind them, but nobody is blocking them. So that's kind of the reasoning for that. So you want everybody to pass each other right in the middle at the exact same time. So let me go ahead and play this from here again.
Yep. All right. So going for a kiss. Ready? 3, 2, 1, run. Try to pass each other at the same time. Yes.
And you can see everybody doesn't have to, like, they're not running that fast. So you can be safe about it. It's not like they're sprinting where they're going to run into each other, get hurt, trip and fall, fall into the lake behind them or anything like that. Yeah, you can have them run pretty slowly too, especially with, a 15th of a second shutter speed. Like I said, you can change that according to how fast they're running.
Try to pass each other at the same time. Yes.
You'll also notice that Laura's taking pictures pretty quickly. You can hear her shutter going off.
Yes.
So you want to be taking a bunch of shots because chances are the first time you do this, like this was just one of the one take out of probably at least 5 or 6, maybe. Sometimes we get it in 2 or 3 takes. I think one time we got it in our first try and it was perfect, but normally it takes like 3, 4, 5, 6 takes. But by taking a bunch of pictures very quickly on burst mode, you increase your chances of getting the right shot and not having these people running back and forth for 45 minutes.
Pass each other at the same time.
Let's keep going.
Yes. There we go. Perfect. Guys, so good. Like that one and that one. Isn't that fun?
And obviously you can hear like everybody talking. They're all having a good time. This is fun to them. They're getting to be involved in this fun, creative portrait of the bride and groom. So I think some people are a little worried, like, are people going to be annoyed that I'm asking them to run back and forth? We just ask for volunteers. And generally you have, 5, 6, 7 people who will volunteer because they're like, oh, this will be cool to be involved in this, this shot that, might be printed out on the bride and groom's wall or something, or posted to our social media. So usually there are going to be people, and Laura's hyping people up. She's saying like, guys, you're doing so good. You killed it. So people have a lot of fun with it. Let's see, what else can I talk about here? So obviously you see Laura has the camera on the tripod. We usually do this picture with a tripod. Not always. One of the pictures that I showed you, this one, actually we did handheld. So you can do it, and if I zoom in, you'll see the couple's in focus. They're not blurry. There's no motion blur for them. So they were standing still enough. We were holding the camera still enough that it worked out without a tripod. However, with a tripod, you have a better result because you know for sure that when you get the right picture, when it turns out really good, the couple is framed nicely in between these people that are blurry, there's not going to be any chance of the couple being blurry accidentally. So by using a tripod, you're ensuring a little bit more consistency in making sure that it is sharp, it's not blurry, first of all. Second of all, I don't know exactly, as I'm scrolling through some of these other pictures that we took, let's see. as I'm scrolling through some of these ones, I don't remember which ones, but I know some of these did not turn out. I think this one actually maybe did not turn out as good as it looks here in the specific shot that we used. I think Laura ended up having to Photoshop, like, let's just say maybe this bridesmaid was further over here, and you might be able to see there's a little bit of blur here. So I think maybe this bridesmaid was further out of the frame, so she had to use one of the other pictures, and she Photoshopped the bridesmaid from here to over here. So sometimes you have to combine a couple of the shots, and it's easier to do that when you have your camera on a tripod. So all of the, like, if you're getting 9, 10, 11, 12 different shots in that burst, they're all framed exactly the same way. You know, it's not like the couple's going to be in a different position, the barn's going to be in a different position. They're all framed exactly the same, so it's easier to take pieces from one and put it in the other without having to, like, now start manipulating and editing a bunch. So that's another reason the tripod is very useful. So some people, when we've explained how we do this shot, have said, like, "Yeah, you don't need a tripod for that. You can do it handheld." Yes, that's true. We've done it that way. However, there is a reason that we normally use a tripod, and I think that it does produce a better result overall. Yeah, so I mean, really, it's pretty simple. You generally want somewhere around 5, 6, 7 people to be running past. You don't want too many people in front of the bride and groom. The more people that are in between the camera and the bride and groom, the more likely it is that they will be blocked. So having a few people behind them and just maybe 2, 3, 4, at most 4. You don't want to go more than 4 in front of them is a good way to get, you know, a good result. So end goal, what I would say turns out the best is when you have a photo like this. There's a lot of symmetry. Like, this barn is symmetrical. You have a bridesmaid here, a bridesmaid there, a couple of groomsmen, you know, a groomsman there and there. It just feels like a nicely structured picture. So I think if you can get a result like that, if you do like 5 or 6 takes and you get one that is almost like this, even if you have to do a little bit of editing, like I said, to make it perfect, I think that end result is just so nice. And, you know, it's not everybody's style. Some people don't like these photos. That's okay. It doesn't have to be everybody's style. I like it. I think it shows the bride and groom in the moment with chaos around them, and it just shows them together. And I think there's a cool, you know, there's a cool artistic meaning behind it. But it also is just fun and creative, and people enjoy it, and our clients love it. So yeah, try it out. Let us know when you try it out. Post it on Instagram and tag us or DM us. We'd love to see you putting this into practice. Like I said before, if you have any ideas or requests for a video that you'd like to see us make, let us know in the comments. If you are not subscribed already, subscribe and, you know, hit that like button if this was helpful to you. Hit the like button, hit the notifications so you see future videos. Those things really help out, especially as we're trying to put a lot more time and effort behind our YouTube channel. Your help goes a long way. So looking forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Have a good one.